Namaste, beloved ones, and welcome to Soul Mirrors. Be amazed. Well, I am amazed that we are together right now, right here in this extraordinary moment of up-level energy. I know you can feel it. I'm feeling it. You're feeling it. Let's dive into this because this is that moment to wake up. It is our moment to rise up and say yes to our lives and to radiate the beauty of the truth of who we are. And that is such a deep conversation and such an extraordinary journey that I'm very excited to be taking it this evening with my co-host, who I'll be introducing in just a moment here. But before we get any further, let me just say welcome to tfrlive.com. We are so excited to be with you this evening. We love you. It is always a gift to be here. And of course, over at onenesstalkradio.com, where people are watching, people are chatting. And remember, you can call in 517-208-1500. The phone lines are already filling up, 517-208-1500. You can ask for a mini soul reading. You can listen to the show while you're on hold. Come on in. And of course, over at YouTube, hi YouTube, we love you. And tonight we're broadcasting at the Oneness Talk Radio YouTube channel and of course, Oneness Talk Radio Facebook. And so welcome everyone. Welcome, beloved community. You know, let's just bring a hand to our heart right now and really breathe in the blessing of this moment, because many of you know, Shri and I are so excited that Soul Mirrors is now on Tuesday nights, because we have been now allowing Soul Mirrors to kind of catch us up on the week at hand. So if you were with us over the weekend, you know we were sharing a lot about this love, like love energy that's very much about this week and how it's occurring between these two up-level moments that are right now. You know, February 9th, we had the first full moon up level Ascension event. Now we're having another one coming on the 18th. If you have not yet connected with the Ascension up level calendar, please, with all my heart, go to the official Shri and Kira YouTube and watch the video, because we are in a moment that is collectively saying to all of us, what do you really want? And how much do you want it? Are you tired or are you inspired? And are you in a moment of divine presence with yourself? Now, I really want you to breathe that in. And as we do, I do just want to give a little shout out to all of you that have been journeying with me on Monday nights. Wow, I bow before you. Last night's Keys to Ascension journey was such a blessing for me. And I just want to thank all of you that are part of that journey. And I have noticed that we're getting a lot of emails from people saying, can I still be part of the journey? Where did it go? It's not on your website. You're right. It's not. We're 2 weeks into the journey. But you can take the journey and begin it on your own at your own pace with our home study program, where we put it right out. Or if you still want to jump in and join the journey live with me, send us an email to support@selfascension.com and we'll do what we can to get you right in there with us. So I just wanted to say thank you to all of you for that blessing. So what's your tribe talking about this week? In the energy of this love that has come through, in this invitation to sincerely be in our authentic presence. You know, I was joking with Shri the other day, and I really forget how it came forward. And I said, you know what the ultimate reality show is? It's authenticity. Authenticity is the reality show. And I was giggling about how many of you write Shri and I and thank us for our authenticity and the things we share. And angels, we're just you know, soul mirrors, be amazed. And we have been living the path of authenticity for over 18 years and really owning that when we say yes to the divine, when we say yes to ourselves, when we say yes to that which we know is true, even though it may bring us to the borderlands of sanity, our life becomes one miracle after another continually. And that is the gift of this moment. We are in a miracle moment. And to recognize that, or to recognize that in our lives right now, brings us into this radiant energy of February. Remember, the overarching energy of February is radiance. The illumination is illuminating. I mean, really breathe that in. It's been a big month. Also, from the ascended spiral energy, it's a choice month. So what are you choosing, and how is that choice being made? Are you aware of that which is right in front of you? And so, so many big energies are brewing this month. They really are. And as they are, there has been an intensity that many people are writing and asking, is this intensity going to stop? How am I going to be able to deal with it? Well, the answer to all of this is yes. Will it stop? Not really, not in the way that the mind of density wants it to stop. It stops when you are no longer affected by it, because then you can become part of the grand energy that sustains the co-creative process, thereby through your presence illuminating all those who are also ready to illuminate. And so how we navigate is through being the best we are, through saying yes to ourselves, through being able to wake up, number one, right? Because, and again, I know many of you, I'm probably a broken record on this one, but it's one of my favorite quotes by Krishnamurti, but we are not responsible until we wake up. Because until we wake up, it is the ultimate forgive them, they know not what they do. And that's usually one of the ways that we know we've woken up, is that instead of feeling anger or resentment or judgment, we're in this melted space of thank you. Thank you for doing everything you needed to do exactly as you did it. Thank you for playing your role so well that I am here now. The awakening moment is the moment where we see the blessing of every interaction, of every experience, of all that has ever interwoven in this beautiful cosmic illuminated presence of co-created illusion to bring us to where we are. And we are in this moment now where we are rising. And, last year we did, Sri and I announced this over the weekend. I'll share it again. We did announce that we are going to hold another lineage gathering this year in July. We have been very strongly called that we have to do it again. So we're doing it. So all of you that were with us last year, and those of you that weren't or don't know about it, start preparing. And we'll get all the details out shortly. I think it's going to be 3 sessions. And a lot of you have been sending me emails about what happened when we did all the quantum time leaping together last year, and all the ways that that's been manifesting, and how that's been coming back. And we're grateful, because in this moment of rising, it is a moment of remembering, of recognizing that together we are better, right? In the words of my beloved Paramahansa Yogananda, competition kills. When we meet in the ego, when we meet in the essence of competition, what we're doing is saying that I'm still afraid, right? I'm afraid there won't be enough, because actually competition is scarcity consciousness. And so it's saying that I'm so afraid that I have to do everything in my power to beat you, rather than recognizing that we are one voice with unlimited expressions. And there is so much abundance that it's just insane. And it's there for all of us anytime we say yes to the truth of who we are, without the fear that there may be another sitting next to us who is equally and or in their own way more amazing than we are. That's the celebratory moment that lifts us all. And it goes back to, and where I want to close this evening, is going back to the PDF. It's still on our website. If you go to SriandKira.com, you can scroll and click and grab it. But that beautiful ensoulment that came through from the divine directors, that reminded us all to imagine a world where with every breath, with every moment, as we meet all, we only see them in their highest expression. And they see us in the same way. And that through that divine presence, we illuminate all. And it was a very beautiful ensoulment. There was a lot more that was shared, but one of the other things that was shared that I do want to kind of bring full circle this evening, because I've been getting a lot of emails about this over the past few days since Sri and I first announced it on Saturday's show right here at TFR Live on Explore the Mysteries. And what it was that in August, this past August, I had been told by a doctor that I basically had 6 months left to live, that I had this widespread metastasis in my body, that, you know, all these circles on the MRI. I went in because I thought I had a kidney stone. I would never even go to a hospital, but it had been like 5 weeks of this intense, horrible pain. And it was like, okay, even I can't tolerate this anymore. And so this is what they're telling me. Well, the reason I'm sharing it with you is because it is on our website right now, along with sharing about what happened with Shri, and that Shri and I finally chose to announce that, yes, Shri did have a near-death experience during his extraordinary moment, miracle that he is still on the planet moment last year. And then a few months later, I had this wonderful news gifted to me. And for those of you that have been watching our shows and those of you that know Shri and I, what you have witnessed over the past 7 months is that Shri and I have literally reverse aged. We have grown in our vitality. I am the healthiest I've ever been now. I'm now 1 month plus where they said I would already be dead. And I'm the healthiest I've ever been. I'm on the treadmill an hour every day. And this is because of the rise up moment. Shri and I were very, very blessed this year through our reality show of authenticity to have you guys walk through this with us in real time. And so many of you have been sending me some emails, really lovingly concerned, and a few of you upset that we did not share what was going on with me. And I just want to share with you that the reason we did not share what was going on with me was because I was so far gone in the divine directors. The greatest gift, I'm just now coming back, guys. The past 7 months for me have been in quantum space and time, probably an encyclopedia that we are just now beginning to write. And what has been connected through the divine directors, what has come through, you are witnessing in my body, in my field. One of the things that they have shared is that we are at a moment on the planet that has never existed before, whereby we are now able to hold higher levels of consciousness with our bodies without having to transcend. And so, you know, the metamorphosis that many of you are calling has happened to my body. And for those of you that were recently here at Tosa Blue Mountain have witnessed and are with me, what I can share with you is that I have had nothing to do with this except to step aside and say yes to what the divine has asked to happen. And if that serves all of us, then all the better for it. And what I can share with you is that each of you are being invited to rise into the unified field of your higher consciousness right now. Some of you are being escalated far more rapidly than you ever thought you would be. Some of you have been here and are getting ready to start shepherding others. Some of you are just waking up going, what the? Oh yeah, cool, right? And you're here. Great. The moment of this extraordinary reunion of true beauty, of illumination, of love is before us. And we are all walking this hand in hand. And so thank you for letting me share that with you tonight. Visit our website, shriandkira.com. Tell Shri and I what you think of all the new updates, a whole bunch of new stuff on there, new pictures. Specifically, check out the About Shri and Kira section. Also check out the Tosa Blue Mountain section. But overall, just tell us what you think. And last but not least, the one little announcement I want to make is please, 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 if you have not already subscribed to our YouTube channel, Official Shri and Kira, subscribe, because we are premiering the the 2020 Ascension symptoms. You know, Shri and I have been putting them out. We're the originals. We've been putting these out for 18 years. We have them all. They're documented. This is the most unique thing we have ever had to announce. And so for sure, you want to be with us at the premiere. And we, speaking in the energy of love, chose to premiere it on Valentine's Day because it's our gift of love to you. And so that brings me to tonight's guest. And this is just such a wondrous, wondrous serendipitous experience to welcome Suzanne Ross to the show this evening. So as you all know, we have moved to Tuesday nights here at TFR Live. And when we were moving, I was speaking with Chris Gio, who is the beautiful one behind the genius behind TFR Live. And he said, Kira, you should talk to Suzanne. I said, you're absolutely right. I should. And so he hooked us up. And what I did not know when Chris first hooked us up was that Suzanne is based out of Sedona. Well, for those of you that know the Sri and Kira story, in our first book, Sacred Union Journey Home, you guys know our whole Sedona journey and how all that unfolded. And so my heart was smiling that in this week of love, 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 our journey began when Sri and I first met. We had met online, as you guys know, spiritualsingles.com. We met online. And then he was living in San Diego. I was living in Boulder, Colorado. And we went and met in Sedona for the first time. And that's where everything happened, where Archangel Zadkiel first came in Boynton Canyon and all the other things that happened there. And so in this moment of our divine upliftment, in this moment of really extraordinary up-level energy, my heart was like, wow, talk about a full circle event. Just, loved that. And then the more I learned about Suzanne, the more there just is to love. And if you're on our newsletter list, and I really hope you are, you've already read all these wonderful things, but I want to share with you that Suzanne is really, she's also a former Voice America. Many of you remember Sri and I were some of the original Seventh Wave Network Voice America for many, many years. And so I also found that to be very serendipitous that she had been with Voice America. And then, of course, she's really into media. And so if you got our e-card, I put in about Sci-Spi. And of course, her show, which is Transcend the Matrix, right before the show. So there are so many things I could say about Suzanne, but what I really want to offer before I bring her in and we start this incredible conversation is that she carries with her a unique adaptation of the I am here, I am ready, I am open, guide me, with this practical application that has created this little media conglomerate. And so she has said yes to herself. She has said yes to her passion. She has said yes to her vision. And in so doing, she is saying yes to what we are all here doing now, which is saying, we are one, one voice, one voice, many expressions. And so I want to bring Suzanne in, and we're going to do that right now. So you guys get to meet this incredible co-host who is joining us this evening. And there we are. Woohoo.
Hi, thank you for having me on your show tonight. I am so delighted to be here and so blessed that we've made this beautiful connection. Thank you for such great reviews.
Oh, well, so earned. And, guys, isn't she beautiful? Those of you that are watching on video, and I'm loving the sacred geometry, the Metatron's cube behind you with the Sri Yantra on the wall, loving the energy that's just pouring out. And guys, let's all give Suzanne like a lot of throat chakra love right now, because she literally finished her show to call into this show, and look how good you sound, right? So I'm like, throat chakra love, throat chakra love. We're just sending you energy right now.
I'm receiving.
Exactly, right? It's like, okay, little honey right here just to make it feel better, which is just wonderful. And so Suzanne, I could read the bio, but I know everybody is reading it in the e-card. But what excites my heart so much is that you have a passion that is ignited inside of you that has said, not only am I saying yes to what I know I am being called to do, I'm bringing it into reality. And so my first question is, were you just born this way? How did this happen?
Well, my mother did name me Susie Sunshine.
Oh, there you go. Okay, well, those mothers, what can I say? Us mothers. I love it.
Yes, and I was born in Mount Shasta, so that also helped.
Totally.
Yes, as a kid, I was so psychic, running around the forests of Mount Shasta. My friends were fairies and trolls and invisible kids who were my friends. So yes, and I loved being in the direct light of the sun. I just wanted to be outside in the sun, because even at that early age, I had a sense that there was something very special about the sun, that it was some type of light portal that source could communicate with me through, that I could stand and I could receive these rays of light directly from God, Goddess. And so at an early age, I knew that I was being enlightened by the sun, not just receiving love and light, but also receiving messages and teachings. And then even as a kid, in the night, I would be visited by these energetic beings. In my recollection, they were like little Caspers.
Oh, how precious.
Of course, I was a kid, right? And I'm thinking, oh, my friends, the Caspers are coming to my room at night. But they were these little energetic blue beings that would stand around my bed and offer these energetic transmissions. I knew they were my family members, and I was very excited when they would come. I knew what they were doing was important for my healing, for my health and well-being, but also that they were just offering transmissions of love and light. And so I felt very blessed. Of course, as I started to grow up, I melded into my ego identity of Suzanne, but it was only about 25 years ago now, at the age of 30, that I really had a profound awakening on a mountaintop, and
So how did that happen?
everything shifted.
Oh, I'm sure it did. So what brought you to the mountaintop? I mean, were you on a quest? Were you trying to have how did that happen?
Well, I had fallen into society's expectations of me creating the American dream of being the corporate executive, married to a corporate executive, living in a big house with a Porsche in the garage and a pool out back, and finding that I was miserable. And that for me, the American dream was the American nightmare.
I call it my bad B movie. It was just a bad B movie. It's all it was. I hear you.
100% misaligned, displaced, and it was showing up in mental and physical symptoms. I was having anxiety attacks. I had eczema all over my skin. My hair was falling out in clumps. And on one day, I just walked out into the kitchen and I said, there has got to be more meaning and purpose to life than this. And if there's not, I'm out of here. This isn't what I signed up for. And my parents called from the desert of Southern California and said, hey, come on out. We just bought a vacation home out here. I was living on the East Coast. It was blizzarding in the middle of winter. I said, that's exactly what I need. And so I did. I went to visit them, started to experience love and joy and laughter and fun in the sun. But then as my vacation drew to a close, I was just overwhelmed by this sense of impending doom and panic that I'd have to return to my life in hell. So I just ran to the top of this mountain behind their house one morning, threw my arms up to the sky and said, I am miserable in the extreme and see no way out. Yeah. And in that moment, I was surrounded by bright white light, and a voice came out of the light and simply said, can't you see you've come home? You'll stay here and heal yourself and many others. And when the light faded, I looked out over that desert landscape. I knew that was the absolute truth for me. In 2 weeks, I completely transformed my life from a stressed out corporate executive on the East Coast to a healer in the desert. And just like the voice said I would, I stayed there and healed myself and many others.
Well, congratulations. You're demonstrating one of the things that I always enjoy, and that's courage. At some point, we have to have the courage to trust ourselves. We have to have the courage to trust that message, to know that this might have taken me to the borderlands of sanity. Maybe there's a place inside of me that's terrified. Maybe there's a place inside of me that doesn't want to, but there is this other passion that can override that if we have the courage to say yes. And this is the blessing of a story like yours, is that, that in action courage. So I love hearing how this story is unfolding for you. I really do. And as that story was unfolding for you, I guess my other question as I'm listening to you is, so did you immediately say, okay, I know that this is how I have to express this? Did you know that immediately? Did you do some things differently? You stayed, you're at this place, now you're healing people. I mean, were you already a healer? I mean, how did you discover this is the way that my gifts are going to be best honored?
I really just started following the energy of spirit. I mean, initially, I really felt as if there was an invisible force that was drawing me to do this and then do that and the other. I even felt at times as if I was outside of my body looking down on myself doing these things that all seemed very surreal, just to have so much faith in spirit
So
that
true.
I would follow the guidance of this voice and change my life so dramatically. But the more that I aligned with my authentic self as a healer, the more passionate I became about healing and health and well being. And I always wanted my clients to radiate that love and light when they were done with the session with me. So it wasn't just about, the wellness, the fitness, the nutrition, etc. I always wanted to inject them with some divine light and to have them radiating with love and experience more of that in their lives through my health and wellness services. So, yeah, as I align more and more with my authentic self, the light just flowed through and it became such a natural way of being and of serving.
Yeah. Well, that really is the key, isn't it? It's about that natural way of being and observing. I love when you were talking about the authenticity because that's really what it's about. I was giggling earlier that the ultimate reality show is authenticity. And hey, TFR Live, we know you're going into break. We want you to stay with us because we have so much show to go after this break, including some live callers. So stay with us. We'll be right back. And for those of you that are everywhere else, I call this bonus time. And so we are in our 3-minute bonus time. And when we cut to bonus time, I always like to put out a question and see where that question lands. And so if I was to ask you, Suzanne, what to date, what has been the single most mystical experience of your life? What would it be?
I mean, that moment on the mountaintop has to be, one of the most profound moments of my life. Truly being surrounded by a bright white light and a voice coming out of the light. And in hypnotic regression, I was actually shown that it was my inner earth family, the Lemurians, surfacing on that mountaintop, a man and a woman, and they had a woman between them who looked just like me. And they asked if this higher version of myself could walk into me. And I said, yes. And I walked toward me, stepped into me, turned around and looked out. And in that moment had a spontaneous healing.
Oh,
And
yeah.
the person who ran up that mountain was depressed and full of anxiety and fear. And the person who ran down was full of health and vitality, excitement and enthusiasm. And so that made so much sense to me when I revealed that during a hypnotic regression.
Congratulations, because no, seriously, as I'm listening to you, there is this recognition that when we give ourselves that sincerity, love, and presence, you went up that mountain feeling all those things, but you also went up with a sincere heart. And when we go up with sincerity and love, real love and presence, that okay, I am here, right? I am here. I am ready. I am open. Guide me. That's the miracle formula, And so I always enjoy hearing the miracle formula in action. And I also just want to remind all of you out there that you can jump into the caller. We have a lot of callers holding. There are still a couple lines open. If you want to jump in, 517-208-1500. You do get to listen to the show, and we are going to be picking up with you guys right after we get back to TFR Live. So I just wanted to let you all remind you about that. Now, excuse me, Suzanne, I want to talk about your show. And so your show is on right before this show. And so tell us about Transforming the Matrix.
Yes, it is Transcend the Matrix. And
Forgive me.
that's okay. And I have also hosted many events here in Sedona called Beyond the Matrix. So the theme is all about breaking out of the 3D matrix of limitation, separation, and suffering, and expanding our consciousness beyond into the limitless boundaries of higher dimensional realities, reuniting with our higher dimensional selves. And in doing so, igniting dormant DNA, bringing more of our brain online, becoming those 5D ascended beings right here and now. And so I offer teachings, practices. I also bring in guests, especially those who are going to be coming to Sedona to be presenters and speakers at my events.
And welcome back, TFR Live. We are so glad to be with you. Thanks for joining us right here on Soul Mirrors Be Amazed. And this evening, it's a really special moment here at TFR because right here on Soul Mirrors Be Amazed is our own Suzanne Ross. And we are so glad that she is here from Transcend the Matrix. And right? Am I right or wrong? Did I get it?
Right.
Oh, yes, there is a God. All right, I did it. I did it. All right, so welcome back, everyone. And you know, Suzanne, we were just talking about the way that when we put our passion into action, when we do give ourselves the gift of living our awakened lives, you know, I call it passionate action. When we are in our passionate action, we have these extraordinary synergies come forward. We have all of these connections that come together. And, you know, speaking of connections, we have like a really full phone bank tonight. We always do, but I want to go ahead. I'm just going to start right up here at the beginning of the call board. And so right at the beginning is Monica. And Monica, you've been holding for so long. You were there when I got on the call board. So we're bringing you in. Namaste, Angel. Or not. Turn down your speaker, sweetheart. Okay.
Hi.
Hi.
Can you hear me?
We can hear you now. Hey, sweetheart.
Can you hear me?
Welcome. We can hear you just fine, Angel. Welcome.
Kira,
Hi.
can you hear me?
I can, sweetheart. I really
You
can.
can hear me.
Okay.
Oh my goodness.
All right. We just had to say, Monica, I just put you back on mute, sweetheart. I'm not sure why you can't hear us, but I just wanted to let you know. I'll try one more time. I'm going to unmute you right now. And Monica, can you hear me?
Okay, I heard you. You heard me.
Yay! All right, we
Hi.
did it. Namaste, sweetheart. Welcome.
Kira, obviously, we're not getting the two-way, but I just want to let you know I love you and Sri and hello, Suzanne. And I find your topic really fascinating today because this morning I had some appearances in my dream state, and it felt like otherworldly visitors, maybe similar to what Suzanne had. And I wonder, Kira, if you could give me a mini soul reading on this whole experience.
Well, Angel, first and foremost, just bring your hands to your heart. You already know what happened. I mean, yes, of course, I can offer you that. You know that. But Monica, honey, the reason that you're sharing this right now, and the reason that you wanted to share it right now, and while Suzanne is on the show as well, is because there is deep inside of you that little molecule that's going, oh my God, is this really happening? And the answer is yes, it is. But you've been preparing for this for a long time. You're ready. And so the key is to remember that you are the one who commands your energy. And as long as this experience is leaving you feeling uplifted and there are no issues around it, which I'm not seeing anything there that would congest that for you, then I would invite you to breathe even more and relax even more and trust you with all my heart. And Suzanne, I'm sure you'd like to share.
For myself, when I'm visited by energetic beings, whether it's in my dream state or even my waking time, I know that they are my benevolent, loving, galactic brothers and sisters, or even our inner earth families who are rising up right now to be amongst us, transmitting higher frequency love and light into our beings so that we can ascend during this most auspicious time. And so you have been gifted, my beautiful friend, with a divine blessing. So embrace it.
All right, Monica, we love you, sweetheart. Thank you for being here. All right, and we're having an audio issue there, it looks like, so I'm just going to go ahead and let's go to our next caller. All right, our next caller is from an unknown area. All right, unknown area, welcome. Hi. I can see, I can see you're trying, whoever was just making that noise. It's, okay, I'll just put you back on hold, but we did have you, sweetheart. All right, now we're going to go. It looks like, oh, there we are. Hi. All right. Well, you know, Suzanne, it's interesting. Here we are in this pre-Mercury retrograde phase, and I have to share that with the up-level ascension energy, the pre-Mercury retrograde, it is outrageous what's happening with the tech issues. But our call board, I'm seeing people, I'm seeing them trying to talk, and we are having wild issues. So I'm going to take that as that's because you and I are supposed to be having more conversation right now. And so I'll let the tech people look at that while we're talking about what's most important, which is what is the waking up process looking like in your tribe? I know in my tribe right now, the waking up process is becoming escalated. It's becoming more and more expansive. It's becoming much more visceral for a lot of beings. You know, more and more people are relaxing into their fifth dimensional presence, being much more aware of the greater presence. And so how's your tribe experiencing the waking up process right now?
Well, thanks so much for asking. And just because you keep saying wake up.
Yeah, hey, there it is. There it is. I love it.
I just wanted our audience to know why we're emphasizing wake up and rise up so much during this show is because I do have 2 books in my up trilogy so far, Wake Up and Rise Up. And so those people that I offer services to on a daily basis, or I take on tours out into the sacred vortex sites of Sedona, they are discovering that they are seeking the truth of who they are. They are coming to Sedona in order to align with their authentic selves. So many are feeling trapped in the matrix. So many are feeling like, you know, I'm doing this particular job, or I'm on this particular gopher wheel that just seems to keep going around and around and around, and they're not feeling fulfilled or having the gratification that they're really following their heart's desire. And so they're willing to give up their pursuit of the American dream to turn around and actually create their own dream reality, where they are actually doing their heart's desire and that they are serving on the highest level. And so that's what I offer them through services and through readings and tours in the Red Rocks, an opportunity to illuminate all of their energy centers, to activate their chakras, to raise their vibrational frequency so that they can step into their power of who they are as their most authentic and highest self.
Well, that is definitely the moment at hand. You know, we really are at that moment where everything is conspiring to assist us all to up level. You know, this is a massive up level moment, especially these next 2 years as we come to this peak moment of the ascension escalator. And what's been happening is that as more and more beings are going to sacred sites, you know, we're blessed to live here in the Andes Mountains in Ecuador, you know, and we're going to Peru with a group this year. You know, there's so much that's happening. And as we see our really oneness connection, you know, this is what I love about the sacred sites is that you've done this incredible job anchoring this Sedona portal and helping so many people really discover that and be that. And, you know, if you guys want to discover Suzanne's tours, you should go check them out. And as a matter of fact, she's been so kind that if you put in, I think it's Kira 10, you even get a discount off the tour if you want. So where can they learn about those tours? What website is that?
You can go to SuzanneRossWellness.com, and all of the different things I offer are on that site. Also, I have Sci-Spi.tv, SCISPI.tv.
I put that in the newsletter.
Right. Thanks. I'm just saying, I'm mentioning it because of the code that you talked about. Can apply that to come to the retreats and events. And so when you open Sci-Spi.tv on the homepage, you'll see the upcoming Ascension retreat and the upcoming Beyond the Matrix event. And you can enter that coupon code at checkout in order to receive a 10% discount. During those events and retreats, we'll be doing tours into the Red Rocks. And so yes, very exciting. But if you email me, SuzanneRoss64 at yahoo.com, I'll give you $10 off any tour you want to take anytime.
Oh, how sweet. Well, thank you. Thank you. You know,
Yes.
and my heart, like I said early on in the show, Sheree and I, our entire journey began. We wrote extensively about Sedona in our first book, Sacred Union, The Journey Home. So it's always a gift to reconnect with that energy. And so as we're together, and when I say together, you know, I'm reflecting upon right now we have a collective consciousness that is wanting to experience the allness so vastly that we have collectively co-created quite an extraordinary illusion that we are all playing in right now. And in that illusionary playground, we are at this rise up moment. And, you know, as your books are so aptly named, Wake Up, Rise Up, and I know your new one's getting ready to come out next year. And what's so profoundly important in this moment is that we know that we are not alone, that we know that we are not crazy. You know, one of the things that I feel most of the beings that are waking up, rising up, and lightening up are being more and more invited to look at is their ability to keep saying yes and where that yes takes you. And to remember that the ultimate yes is the yes to you. And then to allow that yes to illuminate everything. And so it's really quite an extraordinary moment of illumination.
It certainly is. It's funny you should say that. During the break, I was writing yes, 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 and putting a heart next to each one on my board here.
One of my favorite mantras, you know, it gets me in trouble now and then, but it is one of my favorite mantras. I will share in so many different ways. You know, it brings me to something that I really want to chat about called true beauty. You know, true beauty is that the way that I've often had it shared through many of the beautiful beings that I've been blessed and honored to work with is that true beauty is the radiance of our divine nature. It is that authentic energy that cannot be faked, that cannot be bullshitted, that cannot be covered in all these other things. It's that radiance that comes forward when we have said yes, yes, yes to who we are and to who we are collectively. And at a time when the narcissism and density is so outrageously out there, you know, it's you gotta love that it's just so right there. You know, it's all, they've made it really easy because everything's really easy to see. It's actually the easy time. We're kind of in density for dummies right now, you know? I mean, we really are. It's just like an easy moment. And so when we are here and we are navigating that true beauty, how I know that is a sustaining energy that keeps us illuminated, that assists us from being inspired instead of tired. And how do you experience that true beauty? How does that true beauty experience through you? How are you flowing that?
I feel it the most when I'm out in nature and connecting to all living things and beings. Of course, I live on one of the most beautiful places on the planet. But even when I lived in Northern California, which of course is also beautiful, I really found that when I was walking out in nature, doing sort of a walking meditation, that everything around me would start to sparkle with golden light. And I could tell that I was shifting into a higher state of awareness. And I would become aware of things like the water is liquid consciousness, like the form is crystallized consciousness, and that everything is one in this greater vibrating field of divine consciousness, and that source was moving through all of us.
Yeah.
I recognized early on that there was one life force that was illuminating all living things and beings. And I asked myself, what is this force? And I knew instantly that it was love, that it was the pure, unconditional love of source expanding into eternity and illuminating all of our beings. I knew we are that. We are God, Goddess. We are divine love in action. And when we choose to serve in that way, we are beauteous, radiant beings, graceful, moving in symmetry, stepping into divine synchronicity in every moment of every day. And so, yes, beauty is all around us. Beauty abounds, especially when we choose to serve the light.
Amen. And so it is. I agree. I mean, that's exactly the way it is, and I want to go over, I'm looking at all these people that are holding on our call board. So guys, I'm just going to try somebody again. All right. All right. Here we are. I'm going to go to, it looks like I'm going to Concord, California. Hey, Concord, California. Can you hear me? Hi. No. I forgive
Hi,
me.
Kira.
Hi, sweetheart.
Hi, Kira. Hi, Susanne. Can
Hi.
you guys hear me?
We can hear you just fine. But you can't.
Oh,
Go ahead.
there must be a delay, but I'm so grateful for
Go ahead, sweetheart. I'm listening.
Suzanne.
Line unmuted.
Okay, try that.
It's an amazing show, and I'm so grateful that you guys are on. And so I spent time in Shasta, and so I got what you were talking about in terms of being in Mount Shasta. I also wanted to hear more about the beings from the center of the earth that came up and shared with you your higher self. And how do you think that we could, or someone outside could have that experience, or what would you recommend to do to achieve that?
Well, first and foremost, Angel, I want you to bring your hand to your heart. And Suzanne walked away for a minute, so I'm not going to be able to. I'll get her back involved. But here's what I want to share with you right now. Anytime we want to have a conscious connection with those beings, those benevolent beings that are in our highest service to connect with, because remember, not all of us have the same connections. This is one of the misnomers, is that we feel we must connect, that if somebody's connecting with one group, we have to connect with that group. Connect with the group that is of your heart and your benevolent energy, because eventually you will be able to connect with all groups. But when you're inviting yourself to say, how can I connect with these groups? Especially as I'm looking at your energy field right now, sweetheart, our energy field needs to literally be trained. Like some of us as children, similar to Suzanne, I had so many visitations as a child. And I remember that initially they would leave me paralyzed. And then eventually they became easier, and it became much more expansive. And I understood more because I was maturing through those experiences as well. All of us have a nervous system that works through this physical form. And until we can fully integrate our soul's energy with our body energy, the nervous system very much needs to be prepared to walk through these interdimensional windows. So if meeting these beings is what you are wanting to do, then invite in the beings that are the ones that are waiting for you to invite them. Start with that group, might be that group. But start with the ones, open yourself to say, this is why the mantra of self-ascension works so well, because it's so clean and so easy. I am here, I am ready, I am open, guide me, with sincerity, love, and presence. And then, the old saying, be careful what you ask for, because you're going to get it. And you will get it with a lot of love as well. Suzanne, would you like to share?
Yes, absolutely. It's so interesting what you're saying about the nervous system, and also what you were saying in the introduction about how you were given this diagnosis and you are now healthier and more vital and well than ever. I recently had a condition called shingles. And for goodness sakes, I had it on my face and in my eyeball. And they were telling me that I was going to go blind in my left eye if this condition got any worse or was not treated with all of these eye drops and pills. And so it was an amazing experience where my left eye was completely shut. And it's hard to keep your right eye open when your left eye is swollen shut. So I found myself in this, and it's a nervous system. It's like blisters on your nerve ends. And so I found myself just laying in bed with my eyes closed, going into deep trance states of meditation, trying to understand what was going on. And what I was shown, that it was literally a restructuring of my nervous system, even an up leveling of my central nervous system, preparing me to move into this next stage or phase, if you will. And I knew that was true in the core of my being, that is why this was happening to me. Of course, I fully recovered. And like yourself, I'm better than ever. And it had to do with sort of this break that I was gifted with to engage in these really deep trance meditations on a daily basis, interdimensional travel, and having the opportunity to sit upon galactic councils, things that I would not have taken the time to do, had I not been bedridden for this time. So I truly believe.
Suzanne, thank you. I just want to check in with our caller. So, sweetheart,
Sure.
I just want to make sure that we answered your question. And so thank you for calling in, and thank you for being there. We are grateful to have you on the show this evening, my love. Many blessings. Okay, namaste. All right, we're going to go to, looks like I'm going to go to Thailand. Hey, Thailand, namaste.
Namaste, beloved Kira. Namaste, Suzanne.
Namaste. Angel.
Namaste.
Being on your little bit of an echo, but I love being on the Bhagavad Gita part 2 yesterday.
Thank you.
I'd like to say I'm inspired. I'm Fisher. I am expanded. I'm shepherding many people this year again to the sacred site. In my hand, I hold the 2 Shiva eyes you gifted me with the Bhutan.
Thank you.
And in this expansion, work in the sacred site, and my deepening connection with you, I'd love to have a mini soul.
Wow. Well, my heart is pounding, Angel. And so I feel the Shiva eyes, and I feel when we were in Bhutan and when those were put in your hands. And I'm also seeing you, and you're very much like a floating Buddha energy is what I'm experiencing with you right now. And through that, what I'm seeing is that your eyes, it's like your eyes are doing a 360. It's like you're seeing everything. But as you're seeing it, it's spinning you, and it's spinning and it's spinning and it's spinning. And I keep hearing this beautiful, it's like a harmonic frequency, very, very, feels very 33rd crystalline dimension to me. And this frequency just keeps saying, sit in the center and stop spinning. It's like you're looking around at all of this other, almost, I'm going to use the word distraction, honey. And they're saying, just sit in the center and see what's really there and open your eyes. They're saying it is right in front of you. And if you bring that energy into the wisdom, they're calling it the seat of the soul, the center of your divine cosmic presence, you will create that which you have been waiting for. It's already being done, just not in the way you thought it was going to happen. They're saying smile because it is happening. It's a dream that did not die. It's just getting ready to birth again. And so it is, my love. I love you, honey. And let me just add, you're welcome.
I just say something. I'm smiling beyond measure, and I say yes.
Oh, well, we say yes with you. And Suzanne, would you like to share anything with our beautiful Ken?
Spot on, girlfriend, about that, standing in the center of your creation and knowing that in 360 degrees that you are creating the most beautiful holographic realities all around you. That you are the master of your creation. And yes, stand in your power in the center and know that.
And so it is. And so, Angel, thank you for calling us. We appreciate it. We love you, honey.
Thank you. Much love.
Much love, sweetheart. Namaste. Bye-bye. Oh my goodness gracious, Suzanne. I'm looking at the time going, how does this happen? how does this happen? I'm like, I'm getting ready. I'm like, okay, let's rock and roll with more callers. This true beauty, this rising up, this waking up. We are here. We are ready. We are open. And so, Suzanne, give me about a minute. How can people learn more about you? Of course, you have your show, you have Sci-Spi. Where do we connect? How do we continue the journey?
I have everything pretty much condensed onto my website, SuzanneRossWellness.com. I'd love to hear from any of the listeners on your show. I love to have people contact me via email with any questions or insights. So that would just be SuzanneRoss64@yahoo.com.
Well, thank you so much. And sincerely, it has just been such a treasure and such a gift to be with you this evening. And I feel like I'm meeting you again. I feel like we're just picking up a conversation we had started probably several eons ago and said, let's touch in when we get to Earth. And so thank you for the touch in. It has been a blessing.
Absolutely. Thank you so much.
Oh, thank you so much. And to all of you, may your heart know that this week, as love becomes the energy of the moment, as we expand and prepare for this incredible Mercury retrograde coming next week, that you are at a moment of divine presence and a moment of divine memory. We are each the mirror of our soul, and may we each always see that which is the most radiant. And so, beloved angels, thank you for joining us. We look forward to being with you again next week. Many blessings and namaste. Good night. Bye.